Good evening. This is the Town of Barnstable Waterways Committee meeting on Tuesday, November the 22nd. Members present at this meeting so far are Peter Cross, Gary Schramick, and myself, Paul Everson. For the Town of Barnstable, Deputy Harbor Master Jay Horn and Administrative Assistant Alicia Lozon. Please note that tonight's meeting is being recorded and broadcast on Channel 18 and in accordance with Mass General Law 30A, Section 20. I must inquire whether anyone is taping this meeting, and if so, to please make their presence known to the chair. Hearing nobody, we will continue on with the agenda. And first up, we have meeting minutes. I'm sorry. Let me flip a page. Has everybody had a chance to see those? The meeting minutes from October.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to accept those minutes from October 25th of 2022 as written.
So moved.
Okay, Peter. Second, Gary.
Yep, second.
Okay, thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Here we go. Notices of intent. First up is Helen Hughes, 94 Long Beach Road, Centerville. Map 206, parcel 007. The applicant proposes to remove the ramp and float as well as a wood walkway as needed, replacing them with a permanent pier structure 20 feet long from the mean high water and adding a 16-foot gangway and two 6 by 16.5 floats. This is continued from last month. Revised plans shorten the pier system by 3 feet.
Good evening. I'm Craig Ferrari with Down Cape Engineering, here representing the Hughes with this project. So like you said, the main change from last meeting is that we've shortened this pier 3 feet. The main goal of why we're here before you is to lengthen this pier and just get a little bit more draft under the boat. We're just looking for a little bit more water. I've heard that the existing pier and float system that they have has some issues with the boat grounding out, which has some obvious detrimental effects of the environment. So we're just looking to lengthen this a little bit so that we can not have that boat touching the bottom of the river there. You know, it is the end of a channel here. It's primarily used by the other homeowners in the area. There's only a handful of them in this section of cove. There is a town way to water, but that's just for hand carried kayaks and the like. So those won't really be impacted by this slight change. So happy to answer any other questions you guys have.
Okay, thank you, Craig. Harbor Master Department, Jay, what are the feelings from the Harbor Master Department on this?
I can pull up the plans for you guys real quick. Can everyone see that?
Yep.
Okay. This is the latest edition of the plans, correct, Craig?
Yes, that is right.
Okay. So, as he stated, not a ton of navigation in this area. I'm honestly on the fence with this project. They did shorten it 3 feet. I guess all in all, you're going to be extending it 16 feet further than it is already permitted. Is that correct?
Yeah, I believe that's correct.
Okay.
What's the width of the hull?
That includes the width of the hull.
Okay.
excuse me, that does not, Peter, but the way I have it on the map, I can show you what 16 feet looks like. I measured it before the meeting for you guys. So something like that is where it's going to extend out, including the beam of the boat.
Are those two red dots moorings?
Those are old mooring locations, not actual moorings. They're this dock right here in question. So that's really what it comes down to in the end. There's going to be 45 feet left between the edge of this dock and the beam of the boat after the pier is moved.
And I would just note that it's going to be at least 45 feet because the location of that floating pier in the middle does change a little bit from year to year based on some of the historical aerials.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see here in pink, this is where it was located in the past.
Jay, can you flip back to the previous screen there showing where the extension would go out? I thought I saw that it looks like they're trying to put it in a mean low water of 7 feet. Do I have that right? Just outside the boat there?
Yeah, most of the boat is at 6.
Looks like it's in between 5 and 7, Peter. Or excuse me, Paul.
How much water does the boat draw?
I believe it's around 3 feet, but I'm not positive on that.
What kind of a boat is it?
I don't know the specifics of it, but it's, you know, just your typical pleasure craft here.
The last engineer stated it was a 26 or 27 foot regulator.
Well, regulator makes it 26 and they draw 3. So.
And with this current configuration, you know, we're just at 3.5, you know, 3.3 feet. So, you know, we're just on the cusp here, even with this extension of that boat grounding out at low tide.
Aren't those markings like -5, 7, that's mean low water, right?
Mean low water we have at -1.9. So I believe this is on an NAVD 88 datum.
What's that mean?
It's just the survey datum. So the if you could scroll up on the plan to the profile view. So that gives you an idea of you know what the water depths are going to be at low tide there.
Okay, so can you go back, Jay, can you scroll back up? Okay, so that last one shows the end of the ramp, but it doesn't show what the water depth is on the float.
Yeah, so again, that, you know, the outside edge of that float at low tide has only 3.3 feet of water below it. So, you know, we're really just trying to get this boat off of the bottom of the river here.
Okay. Jay, can you go back to the aerial view of this, please?
Sure.
Okay, and that's a picture, how recent is that picture? Within the past two years or so?
Yeah, I believe that's the current vessel that's on there right now.
Yeah, it looks like a 26 regulator. Okay, and if you can zoom out a little as well, please. I mean, I want to see the rest of the basin. How many boats do we have beyond it there? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's really just a small number of boats that are going to be trying to get past this area. I mean, you know, literally 5, maybe 6 boats that would be trying to navigate past us here. And again, we're providing, you know, at a minimum of 45 feet of clearance, which should be more than enough for them to navigate by.
Hmm. Okay. Normally, you know, we don't like to see boats going out pretty much beyond the other docks around them. I noticed the ones to the north of these, those seem to extend out quite a ways. But it looks like they're also trying to get to the edge of, you know, the deeper water there. I have a concern that it's just a little too far out. Jay, can you go back to that drawing where it shows the ramp going down? Just that sketch that of the dock itself with the ramp. Yeah, and then scroll up to that top. Excellent, thank you. Okay, so under this, it's saying mean low water at 1.9 at the end of the pile that secures. I thought that ramp goes down onto a float.
Yeah. So that float is shown where those arrows, you know, where it says proposed 2 6-foot by 16-foot floats, and that's pointing right to where the float is attached to those piles. And then we're showing that 3.3-foot dimension of what the minimum draft is there at mean low water. So as you can see, we really need the length here just to get down that slope of the riverbank, because otherwise this boat is going to be hitting the edge of that riverbank.
Yeah, my question is, if this shows the ramp and the float, and if we came out with the width of the boat there, I thought on your plan it showed almost 7 feet of water once that boat is on the dock, and it certainly doesn't look like that on this where it's existing grade going out into the river on this plan here.
The two don't appear to match.
Exactly.
Well, again, these contours are NAVD88 datum, so that mean low water at you know -1.9, almost -2. So the -7 contour would indicate 5 feet of water at low tide. So I think that's where the confusion's coming in here. But I mean, as you can see, that existing float is really just not serviceable for any size boat. So, you know, we really need to extend this some distance. We've pulled it back a little bit from, you know, based on your concerns, and we feel like we're meeting the minimum thresholds here.
Okay, Jay, once more, I'm sorry, on the aerial, please. Thanks. And that's existing, and then your blue mark on there shows that out that much more, right? That's
So that
16.
16 feet, yeah, which would include the beam of the boat that's currently on the dock.
I don't see it between the drawing, the sketch and the measurements there, and then just looking at this aerial here. I mean, it's looking like it's if we were to allow that, extend out that far, that's just a little too much for what I'm looking at. I think it's fairly close to the edge right now, and I can appreciate you guys want to get it off the bottom. I don't think you need the 16 feet to do it.
Has anybody done any current soundings over there, if by the homeowner, to see what the actual depths are?
So our survey site plan is based on field measured sounding measurements.
Okay.
So all of the topography that we are showing on here has been gone out and measured by our survey crew to locate the bottom and give you these contour lines here. So I mean, we really feel that 16 feet is not a substantial amount to ask for here. And given the very small number of boats that are going to be passing by and the low speeds, we don't see how there's going to be an issue navigating past this modest expansion. You know, there's still plenty of room in between where this, even with a boat docked on these floats, there's going to be more than enough room to navigate past in the center of this channel here.
Okay, Jay, the mooring area here, are there any other permitted floats? I see one boat on a float, and then I see another dash mark. Is that dash mark for a additional float?
No, that represents where the float used to be located.
Okay,
So for some reason, the mooring servicer moved it up. I'm not sure why. But that's its current location as it sits right now.
Is there a second boat that goes on that?
There is not. There's only one vessel permitted to this float.
okay. And is that designated that he has to go on the north side, or could he use either side of that float?
It is permitted to one side. That's how we do it in the Centerville River,
Okay,
whether it be the north or the south, but that's how we do it.
Being the end of the river, how does that channel change over the years? And is it dredged at all over time?
It's been a while since they've been up there for dredging. I don't think it changes that much. There's not a lot of current up there at the end of the river.
Right. Okay.
You know, if it would help the situation out, if this were to be approved, I could always talk to Neil Andres and get this float moved back to its previous location, which would kind of help everybody out here.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I'd feel better that if that float was kind of back where that slash mark is, you know, more in the center of that little round basin right there, which would, you know, free up some room.
That was my initial idea when I looked at the plans. Neil wouldn't have an issue, you know, moving that for us, considering that's where it used to be. And more likely than not, the gentleman's accessing it from this town way to water here at the end. So
Okay,
it'd just be a quicker row for him to get there.
and are you able to zoom in on the boat in question or the dock in question? No. Okay, I just want to see where the, all right, if you can just go back out a touch. I'm just looking at, you know, what I see is the navigable water there. And right now, as proposed, you had roughly 45 feet from the outside of the boat to the float.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, and if the float is moved more back towards the to the east northeast, back to that other slash mark, you know, even just slightly more right of that, you know, right at smack dab in the middle of that little cluster of docks, I would feel better about that.
Yeah, that would increase the distance to 80 feet or more, which is plenty of room to navigate.
Okay, any other further thoughts or comments from the board members? Peter?
Yeah, I conflicted here because we keep getting these requests to move docks out based on 26-foot regulators with 300 Yamahas. But, you know, if that dock can be moved back, that float rather can be moved back, I would reluctantly agree to this. But I also say to the homeowner, don't come back. You know, there needs to be some dredging or something, because eventually it's going to be so crowded, and granted, this is its own little lagoon. But the Centerville River has very little room to navigate as it is. And we're setting some precedent here with people coming in with these boats that are, you know, 10, 12 feet wide and 26 feet long, and they draw quite a bit of water. So I would reluctantly agree to this with the idea that this is it and the float can be moved.
Okay, thank you. Gary, any further thoughts on this?
Yeah, I kind of echo that. You know, I'm a little apprehensive given the trying to navigate around in a shallower water for large boats there. Yeah, if they do move the float, and something's put in there that they can't exceed the length of the current vessel.
Right, okay, thank you. Yeah, my thoughts are, I echo the sentiment as to reluctant to let them go out further. The only difference is, as we said, this is the end of a road, so to speak. It's its own little basin down the end. The traffic should be minimal, coupled with the fact that is an existing boat on that. You know, if they were asking for a new boat, for bigger, wider, you know, that's what we don't want to do. But this is the existing boat that is there, that they're running into some difficulty. So I would say if this were to be approved, that's kind of the final solution for this one. And I wouldn't want to see any larger boats on that too. So that, coupled with the mooring, the float being moved. Jay, you don't think that that's an annually placed float? Do they stake those moorings, or does that all come out as a unit?
No, the floats actually stay there for the winter in the Centerville River. So, you know, we have a good relationship with Neil Andres, who's the mooring servicer for these. And I've already discussed this with him. He doesn't know why it was moved from its original location, but he doesn't have an issue with putting it back where it was.
Okay, my other concern would be just that the owner of the float be not stuck with a bill of any size to move his float to accommodate the request of this dock, or the proponent of this dock to go out any further.
No, I can make sure that he wouldn't incur any cost.
If there's any cost to moving that mooring, it should be borne by the applicant, not by the person that owns the float.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so in this matter, we'll take a vote. Peter?
Reluctantly, yes.
Gary?
Same here.
And myself agree. Okay, so this does pass us.
I
Right.
have one question. It's not related to this, but it's related to in general. For those homeowners that have docks and floats, do we have something in the regulations that if they are going to increase the length of their vessel, that they have to get approval prior to purchasing?
That's conservation, believe it or not, when it comes to the actual docks. For an advisory board, we send our comments to the conservation committee, and they're the ones that'll have the final vote on this. And if it gets
Okay.
approved through conservation, they'll put the stipulation on there in regards to the vessel.
All right, thank you.
Right, we have the regulations as far as a mooring. If somebody wants to upgrade their vessel in a mooring area, they cannot outgrow whatever the parameters are for particular mooring fields. And all the mooring fields have their limitation as far as sizes. So owners purchasing new boats do have to check with the harbor master's office to make sure that their new boat will be adequate for the size of the mooring and the location in that particular mooring field. So, good question. Okay, next up, we have John T. Gainey. And
Thanks, Craig.
Go ahead, Jay.
I was just thanking Craig.
Okay,
Thanks, everyone.
All right.
thank you. Next up, John T. Gainey and Elizabeth M. Gainey, 251 Bay Lane in Centerville, map 166, parcel number 57. Applicants propose to replace the existing fixed T-pier with a ramp and float. The pier was originally permitted in 2005 and is restricted to non-motorized vessels. Do we have anybody representing this one?
I don't believe so, Mr. Chairman.
Okay,
I did take a close look at the plans. This property is located way up in the Bumps River, off the Centerville River. It's parcel 251 right here. And it's going to stay within the existing footprint of what already exists. So they're not going to be extending it out into the channel any further. Harbor Master Department doesn't have an issue with this one.
okay, thank you. And it is staying non-motorized?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Any thoughts from members, Peter?
No problem for me if it's not going to change.
Yep, thank you. Gary?
No problem. Sounds
All right.
good.
All in favor on this one?
Aye.
Okay, that one passes. Thank you. Next one, Judith G. Allen, 332 Wheeler Road, Marston's Mills. Map 82, parcel 21, the applicant proposes to replace existing stairs and modify and expand the existing pier.
So this property is located in Middle Pond. Like a lot of our ponds, it's kind of hard to see where the existing pier is right now because of the tree lines. Not a lot of navigation up here, as you guys know. You can kind of see, if I can get this off. The existing pier and stairway is somewhere in this location here with the trees. When I did measure it out on the GIS, you know, we're talking about it ending before this white property line here. So again, Harbor Master Department doesn't really have any issues with this proposed NOI.
Okay, thank you. Peter?
It looks like it would be a minimal impact. I'm okay with it.
Okay, thank you. And Gary?
I'm okay with it.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I'm familiar with that area. That's still pretty shallow there. It's restricted to 9.9 horsepower and not much of boat traffic, so I'm good with that too. Okay, we're all good on that one, Jay. Next one up, 265 Sepuit River LLC, 265 Sepuit River Road in Osterville. It's a combined Chapter 91 permit and a 401 water quality certificate. And the proposed project is for maintenance dredging to the existing pier, ramp, and floats at this location. And do we have
Very
any?
end of the Sepuit River here, where
Yep.
it dumps out in Katuitt Bay. And it looks like it's this pier to the north here, which is attached to 265.
Right. So it looks like they want to dredge the two docks. Is that, am I correct on that? Or are they looking, what else are they looking to do here? Do we have it kind of defined?
I didn't receive the plans on this, but no, it's just 265. I don't know if at 261, their neighbor is going to be in on this project or not. I didn't see an NOI for them. So as far as I know, it's just this pier to the north here.
Okay, let me just read this again. The pros for maintenance dredging to the existing pier, ramp and floats. Okay. Yeah, even if you come down, Jay, to the bottom of that, even come down a little bit further into the river, in one more shot there, you can see all the sand that has been coming down this river on the adjacent 1, 2, 3 parcels there, and that has really grown. I know that sand is all filling in there, so it may help, certainly help the situation there. But we did have a previous proposal from, I believe, 2 properties down from that, and they got the permit to reinforce their seawall. I don't know, do you have any other dredging projects like this in the area? Have we seen anything else?
Not since I've been in office, Paul, no.
Okay, all right. Well, it's going to certainly be a question because it's definitely filling up. Okay, so nothing's getting modified. They just want to dredge around the pier, so I'm good with that. Peter?
I'm fine with it. If they want to dredge, have at it.
Okay, and Gary?
Yep, no problem.
All right, thank you very much. The last NOI is the Christian Camp Meeting Association, 160 Lake Elizabeth in Centerville, map 226, parcel 137. The applicant proposes to remove and reconstruct the dock and stairway on the same footprint. Dock is approximately 5 by 18. Existing dock piles will be cut just below the water level and then secured to the new piles. That's what I was thinking, Lake Elizabeth.
You can kind of see here on the map where the existing dock is. Again, they're staying in the same footprint. Not a lot of concerns for navigation here. I don't have any issues with it.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody out there on that body. Okay, Peter, you're good with that?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Gary?
Yep,
Yeah,
okay.
so, okay, thank you. That one passes. Next up, mooring appeals. We have none. Old business, the waitlist lottery marina status update. Take it
Yep,
away.
so the Marina lottery is over and we selected 75 winners. If your name was chosen, very important, you have till October 31st to get your application in with your payment. If you have any questions, please call the Harbor Master's office. We will be closed Thursday for Thanksgiving and Friday, but we'll be open again on Monday morning. So once again, if you were one of the lucky winners, get your application in by October 31st.
Okay, thank you. Yeah,
Is there a list of the winners somewhere?
Yeah, it's on the town website and it's on
Okay.
the lottery website that we use to host the lottery itself.
Okay,
okay,
But you can go to the town of Barnstable homepage and it's under marinas.
okay, thank you. Marina fee changes. I know we've been talking about that. Is there anything solid about that? Or are we still kind of moving along on that?
Yeah, no update right now. We're gonna put a pin in it until we can get into the new year. Brian's gonna propose the changes to you guys, but we're looking at January or February at this point. We're gonna get through the holidays and then show you guys what we come up with.
Okay, great. We have no new business and no correspondence, I believe. So let's go to the Harbor Master report.
I don't have much for you guys tonight. The ATOMs are all out of the water. Everything was removed pretty much the first week of November. Barnstable Harbor got removed. We took all the sticks out that marked the channel. And we're just looking forward to the holidays and a little rest and relaxation.
Good for you. Just a reminder for folks, the winter stakes, when do they have to have moorings winter stakes by?
That's a great question. I don't have it in front of me, Paul. I'm sorry. I know the winter stakes have to be out by July 1st.
Yeah.
But we're very lenient as to when they have to be in by. It takes the mooring servicers a long time to get those things all out there. I believe it's sometime in November. But
Yeah.
you know,
I
we
think
don't
we're,
hold them to it.
yeah, we're just kind of coming up on that deadline now. So just to remind everybody, if you haven't thought about it, it's time to do it. Okay, that's it for the report.
That's it, sir.
Great. Well, thank you. And thank you all for attending. Again, we'll monitor the NOIs and other pressing business. But if we don't have much for an agenda in December, then we'll hold everything till after the first of the year, but everybody will get notified as that meeting on December 27th approaches. So thank you all, and entertain a motion to close.
Move we adjourn.
All right, thank you.
January 1st, Paul,
January 1st
on the winter stakes. Yep.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, well, thanks all. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving. And we will be
Thanks, guys.